Tim, you ready to do this?
I'm ready to go.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome here to the patio. I'm Meredith McGrath, registered dietitian, here with our executive chef, Chef Tim. And we are here for an encore presentation of two of Chef Tim's new summer creations. And this is a grilled watermelon salad and a grilled mushroom flatbread. So thank you, Chef Tim. I know you had just created and prepared this for an episode of Red Nose Food for Thought last week, but it was so popular, and maybe a little request from me too, that we wanted to dive in and take a closer look at how everyone at home can create this dish.
Simple dish. But Meredith, thank you so much for having me back here again.
Yes.
Always love cooking here on your patio. It's beautiful. Mine is Dan Newberg. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I think things will be a little more serious.
Maybe he's watching us and maybe he'll chime in with his commentary, as he always likes to do.
Yeah, there you go.
But one of the things, again, as we were preparing for Red Nose Food for Thought, I asked you if you could think of some dishes for the grill that is not your traditional food that we put on the grill.
Sure.
And of course, you love the challenge and came up with this awesome watermelon and flatbread dish.
Well, the watermelon is great because this time of year you have the watermelon in season, and we enhanced it a little bit more than just a regular grilled watermelon. So this dish is really unique with a whole bunch of flavors going on and utilizing tomatoes, cherries, fresh arugula, a lot of stuff out of the garden.
Yes.
So,
and I love that because anytime we are increasing fruits and vegetables, it's so important for our health. So we had talked on the show many times about the Have a Plant movement, and the Have a Plant movement, we've actually had Wendy on our show a couple months ago, and again, just talking about increasing fruits and vegetables to get those vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, all that really benefit our health. So anytime you could increase more, really eat the rainbow, it's going to help us in the long run.
Absolutely. And we can, as we're grilling, we'll talk about other fruits that I like to grill and other things that we can possibly put on that grill also.
So how do we get started with these two dishes today?
Well, the first thing is, let's get the grill hot. So we turn it on, crank it up to high for a couple of minutes, and then after that, we want to clean it, scrape it down really good, and then with a clean rag, put a little bit of oil on it, and then wipe it clean so there's no soot, there's no black, there's nothing, no other objects on there that will get into your food.
So no spraying into the grill?
No, that sometimes you will definitely get a flare up of a flame, and that can come back and kind of, give you a little bit more of a tan than what you want. So,
and if you have any questions, make sure that you chime in. I'll kind of be peeping over to see what questions you might have. I know anytime Chef Tim's around, I always have lots of questions for him because why not hear the advice from the expert? So.
And then, well, thank you for that. And then,
are you an expert? I'm not sure.
I think she's more of the expert than me, but between both of us, we can answer some questions. But once we get the grill hot, clean, and then I like to back it down to about medium heat because you don't want it to be too hot where it just scorches your food.
And medium heat is what temperature would you say?
Medium heat, if you look on your grill here, you're going to be around 450, 500, which is nice. We got this all the way up to 700, and now it's backing down. It's about 600, it's going to 550. But by the time we open and close it, it's going to be about 450.
Okay.
So the first thing is, our favorite word is mise en place, which means having everything in its place. So we're going to start over here with all our ingredients. So we have our watermelon, and then we also have our yellow tomatoes, our cherries, our arugula, a fresh radish, feta cheese, the white balsamic vinegar, and then fresh cracked pepper and kosher salt.
So this whole making sure you have your ingredients ready before you get started, it might seem like a little bit of an inconvenience, a little bit of a pain. However, it is so important. And it really only takes a few minutes to get everything chopped, prepared. Chef Tim here has them put into individual plates. And I know I've really started to do this, and it actually cuts down on the mess.
Yes.
And it just makes cooking and preparing food a lot less stressful because you're not running around the kitchen looking for things. You're not trying to cut things before you get to use them.
Yep.
So it really is the way to go. So take the extra step before cooking.
Yeah, it actually makes cooking so much more enjoyable when you
Yeah.
have everything ready to go. And then also one thing that we talk a lot about is involving the family, and if they can help get this mise en place ready, it helps them with organizational skills, gets them in the kitchen, helps them kind of start to fall in love with cooking.
Yeah.
So that's really important also.
And many of you are going to be home with your families and maybe some little ones over the summer, so this is a great activity for you to do, and Chef's going to show us how.
All right, well, let's get started with the watermelon salad. So first thing we want to do is we're going to cut our watermelon. I just picked up a quarter watermelon, where normally you can get the whole watermelon, but being that we're just going to do one order.
So Tracy says she loves grilled mushrooms and can't wait to try these dishes. So Tracy, we will promise you that you should try these dishes, and we're going to get to those grilled mushrooms in just a few minutes. So Chef Tim, do you have any particular advice when it comes to cutting watermelon? Because I know that is one thing, especially when people buy the whole watermelon, they get a little intimidated as to how to cut it.
Well,
I know there are a lot of techniques out there. You could probably see so many different Facebook videos of how to. I've actually seen people use dental floss, which I have not tried, but
well,
they say it works.
One of the number one rule is really, and this is not to be cliche or anything, but make sure you have a sharp knife.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's so simple. It's so simple.
So I have started to really sharpen my knives. It has taken me some time. Every time I go, and you could tell your knife's a little dull, I get frustrated, and I'm not, cutting my fruits and vegetables as well as I like. And I think of Chef Tim just chirping in my ear saying, Meredith, sharpen your knives. Make sure your knives are sharp. So he is the expert on that. So that is very important when you do your watermelon. Some other things important about watermelon is selecting your watermelon. So a couple things you're looking for is just check the outside of the watermelon. Make sure that the outside is free from bruises or dents or any major gashes. It's okay to have a couple scratches just because, again, they're grown on the ground, so they're handled a lot. Another thing you're looking for is this nice creamy spot, and that's where it is actually setting on the ground. And the longer it sets, the sweeter it's going to be. So that's nice to look for that spot. And then, of course, the heavier it is, it's going to be nice and sweet and juicy. So I know people talk about the thumping method, and our friends at watermelon.org, the experts on watermelon, ask you to please not thump and bump the watermelons. Treat your watermelons really nice. Give it a look on the outside, pick it up, make sure it's nice and heavy and it looks good.
And how about this one? When I was looking at it, I was really impressed with the green and the white that was going through it. Really good, healthy green color.
Yep. And there are actually, we've been carrying some other watermelons. We've had the yellow watermelons, we've had the mini watermelons. So if you don't necessarily like the huge watermelon, and if you're maybe a household of one or two and you can't get through a whole one, they have the petite watermelons, which are really great. I had one of those last summer.
Wait until you see how simple this is, but yet it is so flavorful. So we cut our watermelon. I just cut them into little square rectangles.
Okay.
Light with olive oil.
Okay, so again, we have olive oil brushed very lightly on the grate. You can't even see it, but Chef Tim brushed the pieces of watermelon with a little olive oil as well. And I could hear the sizzle.
I was just going to say, you hear that sizzle, the sear? So that's a good sign that your grill is nice and hot. See how quickly it dropped down?
Yeah, so the grill dropped down a little bit just because we had the lid open, but it was around 500 degrees. Again, getting a nice sear on that watermelon.
So what other fruits do you like to put on?
So I know you actually put on fresh peaches.
Love that.
For the Redner's Food for Thought, so that's a really good one.
Yeah, that one. And we marinated that in a chili lime sauce.
Okay.
And that gives it a nice spicy kick to it.
One of my favorites is pineapple.
Pineapple is a great one. That is a really good one.
And when you're thinking about all these fruits, are they pretty much grilled the same way? Is there anything different you really need to do with them, or?
Well, with the peaches, we marinate them.
Okay.
Because that's a stone fruit and it has a little bit more harder, a little more firmer, so that can take the marinade. Whereas pineapple, you could also marinate that also. The watermelon, not so much. We're we're keeping that really simple. So I think you gotta look at what the fruit is that you wanna grill, and then how you can adapt that piece of that fruit.
Okay, what else do you grill? Fruit-wise.
Fruit-wise, so I think you could grill just about anything. Obviously the watermelon, the peaches, and the pineapple, those are ones right off the top. But I would also go with pears. I think grilling pears is a good one. Apples obviously is another good one. So so any fruit, I think you can, you fall in love with the grill, and then you can just tweak it however you like.
And what's great about it is they don't take very long. So you already have your grill going with your dinner. Maybe you have some guests over sitting out on the patio. Your grill still, you can keep it nice and warm, and throw the fruit on as your dessert. I'm someone who definitely likes dessert, but doesn't always love the calories and the fat that goes with it. We don't have to necessarily worry about that when it comes to grilling fruit, but you're going to get those amazing flavors. You're going to satisfy your sweet tooth, and I think make your guests very happy.
And this watermelon, it's also a great side dish also. But as you said, fruit. For dessert, we did the grilled peaches, and we served it with a coconut sorbet, which is gelato.
Yep.
Coconut gelato.
And a very small scoop of it, and really that's all you needed, because it was such a fulfilling sweet dish.
It was really good.
That is, you had so much flavor there that you didn't need more than that.
Heck no. So this is just about done.
Okay.
And then we're going to make the plate really beautiful by putting all these different components with it. That gives it really good flavor.
We're talking about 2 minutes each side, roughly?
No more than 2 minutes. A minute and a half. But yeah, that's
okay.
That's a good. So after about the 45 1 minute side, I just turn it a little bit, just to give it some X's on it also.
So Chef Tim, now I have to ask you, most of us, me particularly, I'll speak for myself and those watching at home, most of us could not create this recipe. So when you get the call from me and say, hey chef, come up with a recipe for Wednesday's Redner's Food for Thought, how exactly did you come up with this concept? Because, okay, grilling watermelon, sure, we can all do that. But the components and the different ingredients that you selected to use to make this flavorful dish, how do you come up with that? How do you know which flavors match and what goes together?
Well, the good thing is fortunately for being a chef for many years, so you kind of get an idea of what goes well with each other, with each item. But going through Redner's produce department, that's the key. Going through, and then you see cherries, like, oh, cherries, and you see these beautiful yellow tomatoes, and the sweetness and the tartness of the cherries, and the acidity of the tomatoes, along with the watermelon, and then the arugula, that gives it a little bit of a peppery kick to it. So all those items, they add to it.
Yeah, it's so interesting, because really most people would be satisfied with truly just the piece of grilled watermelon. Again, it has so much flavor, it's nice and sweet, but adding all those extra components, again, you're increasing the nutrition, and it just feels so special. And that's something that we talk about a lot, that when you're at home and you're cooking, almost make it feel like, an experience, a restaurant experience, especially now when we are doing so much cooking and eating at home. Don't just go for the frozen foods and throw it in the oven and call it a day just to, go through the motions. Get creative, get your family involved, and experiment with some different things. Going through the produce department is so important. Again, looking at all the different colors and the different flavors and textures is really going to help you create a pretty awesome dish. So that looks perfect.
Yeah, yep. This was only on there for what, 3-4 minutes, 3 minutes maybe? And then also, being the chef at home now, you get to play with your plating skills and really make it look really beautiful, and take a little extra time to make it really special. I love this one here because it really works well as a side for any barbecue that you're having.
Okay, so Chef Tim now just has the grilled watermelon on the plate, and he's going to get ready to top it.
So we're going to start with our yellow tomatoes, which we've already pre-cut those in half.
And that's a really easy thing to do. You're talking about just having small tomatoes.
Wash them first.
Yep.
Wash them first.
Now is the easy part. Now we're just simply assembling. Okay, so Chef now is using a mandolin just to get some very thin pieces of radish. And if you don't have a mandolin, that's fine. Just use a really sharp knife
Absolutely.
and cut very thin slices of radish.
And you know what? I did pick this one up at Redner's in our kitchen and
cool.
gadget section.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of really neat gadgets there also.
So Chef Tim, when it comes to kitchen gadgets, a lot of people can get very overwhelmed, and cabinets and cupboards, you know, we don't always have so much storage, so we do try to limit the things that we have in our home. Are there any particular kitchen gadgets that you think are a must-have?
I am the worst because I'm a kitchen gadget guy.
Okay.
And over all the years, I collect them, save them. Pampered Chef, I love them because they got all kinds of neat, cool little things. And the gadgets, they really help you. I always called them kitchen tools or toys. And I always said the guy with the most toys wins, meaning that you have these gadgets and these toys where you can create and enhance your dishes and make them look really neat, whether it's, you know, the mandolin where you get perfect thin slices that you couldn't, I mean, they're kind of tough to do with a knife. So
I
the
agree
must-haves
go ahead.
are the mandolin.
Yep, I agree with that one.
A great vegetable peeler is a necessity. So we're talking about necessity items. The lemon zester is another one where you can get nice fine zest to enhance your dish. What are some of your favorite?
So I also love the mandolin, and you know, it's funny because I think it comes down to what you consume the most in your household. Like, we actually have a rice cooker. Which, again, I don't think it's a necessity for everybody, but we do love our rice, and there are other things that you can make in the rice cooker. And I know some people use the Instant Pot. I like a melon baller. There's a lot of different things that we do with the melon baller. But then I also have a lot of those very specific kitchen gadgets. So like a pineapple slicer, which I will tell you, when I get a pineapple, I absolutely use it. I'm not sure if it's a complete necessity, but it also doesn't take up a ton of space. So
the pineapple slicer is excellent.
You have to like put it up and down, use all your might to push down, but then you get some perfectly sliced watermelon. So I do love that. I am now obsessed with my knife sharpener. Again, that's because of Chef Tim always chirping in my ear. When I got married many years ago, I made sure that I got the best of the best knives, and then got frustrated very quickly because I'm like, well, these knives stink. Again, not realizing how much you really need to do to maintain them. So pretty much now, every time that I go to use a knife, I give it a quick little sharpen before I get started. So my knife sharpener is one of my must-haves too. Oh, my garlic press. Do you not love a garlic press?
Oh, that's great.
I love the garlic press. It really makes me want to use fresh garlic, which, you know, we've definitely have used jarred minced garlic in the past when you're in a pinch, but I love fresh garlic, and to use that garlic press, so quick and easy.
And great frying pans and pots and pans, and not a whole lot of them. You just need a couple simple ones, but the ones that have the really thick bottoms, that's very important.
So I think we've pretty much named almost everything in the kitchen, and now we're officially kitchen gadget hoarders. Don't forget about my potato ricer that you still knock. Remember from Redner's Food for Thought?
Yeah.
I still use it very often, no matter what you say for my mashed potatoes.
And here we go.
Okay.
So this is really simple. Again, we grill our watermelon, lay it on the plate, and now what we're going to do is just add our components, which again we started with the yellow tomatoes, the thinly sliced radish, the cherries, arugula, feta cheese, a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper, kosher salt, and then white balsamic vinegar, just to add a little bit of sprinkles, not very much, just a little bit, just to give it that little bite. But again, beautiful, delicious. It's got everything to it.
And again, I was able to enjoy this last week. The flavors, the combination is absolutely delicious. It's so satisfying. It's a great appetizer. It's a great snack. If you happen to not like feta cheese, it's actually fine without it. Chef Tim, do you recommend anything in case people are really anti-feta cheese? Anything else you could use?
Kimchi.
Okay.
Pickled carrots, any kind of pickled vegetables. Really thin, sliced, bite size. on this salad would work extremely well also. So again, the recipe, it's just a roadmap, and you can take things out and put things in to incorporate your own your own unique dish. Pine nuts would go very well on here also.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what I love a lot about your recipes, is that you really just give us the foundation for how to get started, and then you could kind of just divert from there. So if you don't want to use cherries, you know, maybe you could use blueberries or some other sweet fruit, whatever actually you have in your refrigerator, whatever is in season at the time, whatever is on sale at your local Redner's markets. That's a great ingredient to substitute for.
And then also by having that family garden, like I'm all about this garden now. So going out there and getting that going, and anything that we can take out of that. Peppers, cucumbers, tomatoes, obviously, the radishes. So,
and maybe somebody would like a little spice on their watermelon salad. So if there's a way to add some diced jalapeno peppers or some red chilies, kind of kick it up a notch.
And the kimchi is also, that's another great component, which is just marinated cabbage.
Yeah.
So
perfect. Well, that's one recipe down. That is the grilled watermelon salad. Again, makes for a really great appetizer, makes for a great snack, makes for a salad, whatever you want, but it is absolutely delicious. So I'm going to move this out of your way.
Absolutely.
Again, we just have our grilled watermelon and all of our toppings, and then really you could choose whatever you want. So Chef Tim's moving on to our second recipe,
which is our grilled mushroom flatbread. We have 3 types of mushrooms here. Obviously, you're not limited to those, but we have shiitake, baby portobello, and button mushrooms. They have been marinating overnight in balsamic vinegar.
Now, why is it important to use a different type of variety of mushrooms?
It really isn't.
Okay.
It's just that I like the combination of all 3 mushrooms. You could do strictly portobello, strictly shiitake, oyster mushrooms, whatever you like. But I like the variety of the mushrooms.
Yeah, I think what's nice is that for the most part they have relatively the same texture, but they still contribute some different flavors.
Absolutely.
They have different flavor enhancements, and I mean, mushrooms just in general, love them or hate them, they add so much flavor to our food. And as we talked about last week on Redner's Food for Thought, the nutrition that comes from these mushrooms, they are one of the only, they are the only produce item that is going to have vitamin D, which we know and we've heard so much about in these past years, how important it is for our health. And it's one of the very few non-fortified foods that contains vitamin D. So mushrooms are not only important for flavor enhancement, but very important for nutrition as well. And they're very affordable too. I know I pretty much buy the button mushrooms every time I go to the store, because I dice them up. I put them in all my food, pretty much every dish that I make, because it enhances.
What's your favorite mushroom?
My favorite mushroom? I'm weak. I just use the button mushrooms.
Okay. Portobello is really good. It's a nice, kind of like a steak, hearty mushroom, the portobello. The shiitakes are good. Oysters are really good also. A lot of my chef friends, they like to go out foraging also.
I've been on hikes where I've actually seen people out with their little baskets collecting mushrooms, which I find very interesting and a little intimidating. Like, how do you know exactly what to pick up? But
which is good or which is not good.
Yeah, exactly. I actually saw a mushroom this morning on my walk, and I'm like, I'm thinking that mushroom is not good to eat. So we moved on from our walk.
There you go.
So again, you just had these mushrooms marinating overnight in balsamic vinegar. You have them on the grill now. Again, we're still at that medium-high heat, so around 450 degrees. And now Chef Tim is using a flatbread and just spreading a little bit of olive oil on that. Front and back?
Front and back, yep.
Both sides. You're going to put a little bit of olive oil on the flatbread. And what's so great about this is he was able to pick this flatbread up at the Redner's Bakery. So you didn't really need to do much preparation with it.
I was just going to say the naan flatbread.
Oh, they're so good.
So delicious. This is a roasted garlic flatbread, which is going to go great with our mushrooms. And like you said, we just lightly spread olive oil on it. Now on this side of the grill, we put it on very low.
Okay.
So that way we just slowly grill the flatbread. We'll get a nice crispy bottom, and the top will stay nice and soft.
So have you ever done like raw pizza dough, like
Absolutely.
actually cook the pizza dough on the grill?
Absolutely.
What are the steps for that?
Make the dough.
Okay.
Refrigerate it overnight is best. Pull it out, let it come up to room temperature, and then start to press it out. And then from there, once you get it pressed out, a little bit of olive oil on it, and then put it on the grill. Now that's going to take a little bit more time,
Okay.
obviously, but as you're grilling it, you're going to have some nice big bubbles on it. Now, the pizza dough, there's great, easy recipes, but also, speaking with Tim Christie yesterday, there's a couple of Redners that actually sell. It's frozen pizza dough,
Okay.
but you let it slack out.
Oh,
and,
wow. And you do it yourself.
Pretty good, yeah, pretty good
So
product.
it's kind of like middle of the road. Like I'm not
Absolutely.
fully doing the whole thing myself,
Yep.
but yet you're starting to get, used to starting from scratch. which is
Absolutely,
pretty
and that's
awesome.
a good one to kind of practice on
Yeah.
and let the kids kind of play around with. So that works really well, and it's a time saver also.
Right.
We're all pressed for time these days.
So
Some
how
of
long
us.
are we going to let this flatbread on the grill?
The flatbread's going to go for maybe about 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yep. And then the mushrooms, we put them on first. They are on the hot side of the grill, and they should be they're
Oh,
pretty
they look
good.
good.
Look how good they are. So you can see that they are all but done, and we're going to take them off, and then we're going to slice them up nice and thin.
And pizza recipes are another category of recipes that the sky is the limit when it comes to the different toppings and the different combinations that you could put on the pizza. Of course, another thing you could do is really almost have like a pizza party and give everybody the base of the flatbread and then have your different toppings out,
Oh,
and then people
that's the
can really
best.
create their own pizzas.
That is the best, and it's so unlimited. Artichokes,
Yeah.
spinach, peppers. I think you mentioned peppers, mushrooms, grilled vegetables, zucchini, squash.
And again, anytime you grill these vegetables, it brings out such a strong flavor. I know when I go out and I sometimes do make your own pizza with different groups, I take the easy way out and I just give them, some diced up onions and some diced up peppers and maybe some pepperoni, some mushrooms, and call it a day. And sure, it's absolutely delicious, but at the same time, taking it to the next level and using different ingredients like Chef suggested, the artichokes and the spinach and the sun-dried tomatoes, even different cheeses that you can use. I think Chef's using a goat cheese. Are you using goat cheese today?
Yes, today, yep.
So Chef is going to be using a goat cheese, which again, when you think of your traditional pizza, you're just thinking of maybe mozzarella and some of the different Italian cheeses, but you're not necessarily thinking of goat cheese or feta cheese or blue cheese that you could add on these flatbreads. So Chef right now is just cutting up the mushrooms into nice slices. They are still very hot from being on the grill for just these few minutes. And again, the different mushrooms are the shiitake, he has button mushrooms, and what's your third mushroom?
Baby portobellos.
Oh, the baby portobello. So he's 3 different mushrooms. Again, you could do whatever you like, but just marinate them in that balsamic vinegar overnight, and then throw them on the grill for that medium heat. And it really was just a few minutes. So he has the mushrooms all sliced up now. The flatbread is still on the grill, again, just lightly brushed with olive oil on both sides. And Chef is coming back to the grill with these mushrooms.
Look how nice those are. They are grilled up
Look good.
so beautifully.
And whoever thinks that mushrooms smell good, but
And
they
there
do
you go
smell
with
really
the bottom. It's nice, golden brown, a little crispy.
good. Oh, we missed your turn. So another thing that I've picked up from Chef Tim over these past few weeks of being out here on the patio with the grill is making sure that you turn it just a quarter to make sure you get those crisscross grill marks. Again, is it necessary? It's absolutely not necessary, but it creates such a nice visual for our food. And as
We're showing love for the food.
you're showing love, and as our favorite host, Dan Newbert, said multiple times, we eat with our eyes, and it's so
That's
important to give our food that extra TLC to make sure that it looks delicious and it's going to taste even better.
Now we have our roasted red peppers that we'll add in with the mushrooms.
Okay.
And the peppers and the mushrooms going together, they are delicious.
And again, if there's something else you would like to add from this, or maybe kind of just substitute, I'm a huge onion fan and I love as many peppers as you can even count. So I would be adding some more vegetables to this as well. Chef Tim now is sprinkling just a little bit of feta cheese.
No, goat cheese.
Oh, goat cheese.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm wrong.
No, that's okay.
Little goat cheese on this flatbread.
We got the, oh, wait a second. My God, you're right.
I didn't want to call them out. We're live here on Facebook, so I wasn't going to throw them under the bus.
I picked up the wrong one.
But you know what? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to do feta. I would do feta and goat. I don't know how that would turn out.
Yeah, we'll skip that.
We'll skip that.
But that just goes to prove that this is going to be delicious no matter what. So Chef Tim did have goat cheese, but just picked up the feta cheese, which is going to be fine. Both cheese are very mild and creamy, and they're going to add an excellent flavor to this. And truthfully, you could use whatever cheese that you have available or picked up at the Redner's Market on your last shopping trip. Now, what do you have for us?
We have arugula. Okay. So we're going to top it with a little bit of arugula also.
And again, so if you noticed in our last recipe, the watermelon salad, he topped with a little bit of arugula, and now we're going to top with the arugula again. And what's great about this is when you buy the big pack of arugula, you're thinking about how can I use this up? It's really important to avoid food waste, because not only is it good for the environment, it's also good for your budget and making sure that you're not throwing food out that has been wasted. So you're looking for different ways to use some of the items that you're purchasing week after week. With us not shopping quite as much now, people are trying to limit their shopping trips. You might be buying a little bit more than normal, and so you might be trying to stock up really quick on produce, and they may not be lasting the whole week or 2 weeks until you go again. So make sure you have your recipes planned out and prepared so that you know how you're going to use up all those items. So again, arugula is something great that you could top and make salads with. Actually, Chef Tim left the arugula for me last time, and I know that same night I sauteed it in the frying pan with a little bit of onions, put it over some pasta with Parmesan cheese, and I had an excellent pasta dinner that night. That was so quick and easy. So now we have freshly ground black pepper.
Yep. We're going to melt that cheese just a little bit more.
Okay.
And then we're going to cut it, and then we're going to drizzle a little bit of balsamic glaze over it, which is balsamic vinegar which is reduced down to a thicker consistency.
And I love balsamic glaze because it's something that you could use on items like this, like a flatbread. You could use it on fruit, you could use it on salmon, beef, chicken, salads, really anything, and it's just going to add this really nice pinch of a sweet flavor. It's very intense, but it's delicious. So again, we have our grilled flatbread, we have our marinated grilled mushrooms, the roasted red peppers, the feta cheese or goat cheese, whichever you prefer, and a little bit of arugula on top. Chef Tim now has it sliced and getting ready to plate, and then he is going to do the last little bit of drizzle with the balsamic vinegar. Okay, and I'm so glad that everybody is giving us a hello and letting us know that they're going to try it. Again, I tried both of these dishes last week, and I was very pleased with the flavor, the quick and ease of these recipes. I always tell him it's important to make sure it's easy because all of us at home are not exactly the executive chef that he is, and we need something quick and easy that we could prepare but still have that awesome flavor.
And executive chefs, they mess up. Look, I used the wrong cheese. No
but
big
it's
deal.
Still delicious.
Absolutely. The goat cheese is wonderful. The goat cheese goes great with the roasted red peppers and mushrooms, and so does the feta. The arugula, as you take it off the grill, as I took it off the grill, and then slicing it, you can really smell that arugula come to life. And then a little bit of balsamic glaze over top, which makes it look beautiful, but it also makes it taste even better.
So I'm going to put these two plates next to each other. And again, these look like these are two plates fresh from Chef Tim's table. Again, an executive chef created these two dishes. But I hope that you've learned in the past, I don't even know how many minutes we've been going live, but I don't care because it's been so enjoyable, that you can absolutely do this at home. Very simple ingredients, very simple techniques. You know, have a grill and get out there and get grilling.
And get creative.
Yeah, get creative. Chef Tim, anything else for our viewers at home?
If you see me at Redner's and you have a question, the guy with the tall hat, just grab me, and anything I can do to help you out.
That's right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for watching and saying hello to us. And if you have any questions or any comments for us, just leave them in the comments and we'll make sure to get back to you.
Thank you very much.
Stay healthy and be kind. Bye-bye.